Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really powerful idea from Tony Robbins. Think about this for a second. What if the biggest decisions of your life, the ones that define everything, are being made by invisible forces you don't even understand?
So, let's just jump right into the core question that Robbins puts on the table. What is that invisible force that's driving you right now? What's the thing that's dictating your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, really everything you do?
So Robbins kicks things off with this really fascinating puzzle. He's seen people who have every possible advantage. We're talking money, education, a loving family, and they end up completely lost. But then he's also seen people who've gone through the most unimaginable pain, and they rise up to become legends in our society. So what gives? What's the real difference maker here?
And this is where you can really see that stark contrast, right? On one side, you've got people with all the resources you could dream of, and they can end up in and out of rehab. But on the other side, you have people who've suffered so much and they become these absolute heroes. So it really makes you wonder, if our past doesn't define us, then what does?
And here it is. This is the key takeaway. We all do this, right? We blame our lack of resources. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't know the right people. But what Robbins argues is that the problem is never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. And he says the ultimate resource we all have is human emotion. If you can tap into the right emotion, you can literally achieve anything.
Okay, so if emotion is the force that's driving us, where is it trying to take us? Well, Robbins boils it all down to 6 fundamental human needs. And we're not talking about simple wants or goals here. No, these are the deep-down core drivers wired into every single person on this planet.
Yeah, these 6 needs, they're basically hardwired into our DNA. Think about it. Every single decision you make, every belief you hold dear, it's all an attempt, conscious or not, to meet these fundamental needs.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because there's this fascinating paradox at play. Look at the first 2. We all need certainty, right? That feeling of safety, comfort, knowing what's coming. But here's the thing. If you had total certainty, life would be incredibly boring. So we also crave its opposite, uncertainty and variety. We need surprises, challenges. Then you have significance, that need to feel important and special. But at the same time, we desperately want connection and love. You can almost feel these forces pulling you in different directions, can't you?
And this right here is a really crucial distinction. Those first 4 needs, certainty, variety, significance, and connection, those are what Robbins calls the needs of the personality. They're all about survival. And trust me, we all find ways to meet them, whether they're healthy ways or not. But real, lasting fulfillment, that comes from the last 2, the needs of the spirit, growth and contribution. And that right there is the difference between just getting by and feeling truly, deeply alive.
Okay, but just knowing about these needs isn't enough, right? I mean, it's cool information, but what do you do with it? Because here's the thing. Our lives are ultimately shaped by our decisions, not our conditions. It's the choices we make that turn these needs into the actions that literally create our destiny.
And according to Robbins, at every single moment, we are making 3 key decisions that control our lives. First, what are you going to focus on? Second, what meaning are you going to give it? Is this the end of the world or is it a new beginning? And third, what are you going to do about it? What action will you take? Just those 3 choices, made over and over, are what carve out the path of your life.
But, of course, we don't make these decisions in a vacuum. They're all filtered through what he calls our inner blueprint. Think of it like an internal map that's guiding every single choice we make, often without us even realizing it.
So the first part of that blueprint is your target. Now, we all have all 6 needs, but most of us tend to prioritize 1 or 2 of them above all else. Just think about your own life for a second. Is it mostly organized around achieving safety and comfort? Well, that's a life driven by the need for certainty. Or maybe it's all about standing out, being unique, being seen. That's a life driven by significance. Whatever your top needs are, that's your target, and it's setting the entire direction for your life, whether you know it or not. Okay, so if you have a target, you need a map to get there, right? That's the next part of your blueprint, your belief system. These are the rules, often unconscious, that tell you how to get your needs met. So if your main target is connection, your map might have a rule that says, if I'm absolutely perfect, then people will love me. Or maybe, if I help everyone else all the time, then I'll never be alone. See how that works? This map is dictating the specific route you take to get what you think you want.
And finally, every journey needs fuel. The third part of your blueprint is your fuel. Most of us, if we're honest, have a couple of dominant emotional states that we go back to again and again. It's like our emotional home base. Is your default state anger and frustration, or is it joy and gratitude? Whatever that emotional fuel is, it colors your entire experience of life, your energy, your relationships, how you see the world, everything.
So to really bring this all together, Robbins shares this incredibly powerful story from his own life. When he was 11 years old, his family had no food for Thanksgiving. Then, a complete stranger showed up and delivered a full meal. Now, watch how those three decisions play out. For his father, the focus was, this is charity. The meaning he gave it was, I'm worthless. I can't even provide for my family. And his action? He left his family. But for young Tony, the focus was totally different. It was, there's food. The meaning he took was, strangers care about us. And his action became a lifelong mission to pay that kindness forward and help others. It's just, wow. The exact same event, but two completely different destinies, all because of those three small decisions.
So what's the bottom line here? Understanding these forces that drive you, it's not just some interesting psychological theory. It is the absolute key to taking control of your life. It's how you wake up. It's how you start to understand why other people do what they do. And most importantly, it's how you can consciously, deliberately create the life you truly want. So the only real question left to ask is, what's driving you?